just had the nastiest bout with an electromagnetic hum that I still hear. I just have to do this. I have to do this recording, and then I'll figure it out later. It has something to do with my preamp. I think maybe I have the power cables all touching too much, and there's some weird, I figured if it was the power cables and if they were separated from the audio cables, then, you could just have a nice little big dreadlock of audio or power cables, and that would do something like, that wouldn't do anything at all, and it would isolate itself from the audio. No, I don't think so. Either that or my preamp's gone bad. I've isolated it down in my preamp. It has a nasty when the compressor's not on. You might even be able to hear it in this recording. I have no idea. It's just annoying. It's distracting to me. Like, I can't not hear this every time that I talk. It's not how I wanted to start this video. I've actually started this video a couple times. And, anyway, so I have to get into it. I'm doing something very different this time. I don't want to get held up on whether or not I can sit down and do this commentary after I've finished it. I want to be able to just upload it. So I'm one session, I feel, away from finishing this. And it's over. I'm over 30 hours into this one. I don't know what happened, all right? At the beginning of the year, I had something I wanted to do, and then I had a bug up my ass, and all of a sudden said, I want you to do a picture. No, I want you to do, like, something other than me is, like, directing me. I want you, no, cancel your plans. Now you must do Giovanni Ribisi, which is what happened. Hold on. I had his wild hair up my ass that said, I want to do a video, or I want to do a piece on my favorite episode of The X-Files. It's from 1995. It's called DPO, for Darren Peter Oswald, which is Giovanni Ribisi's character. And you ever have an idea in your head of something you want to do, and then you go and research it and try to find the proper materials to do it, and you go, well, I remembered things wrong. Like, I wanted to do, like, the kind of Grease Monkey scene when he was visited by, Mulder and Scully, and, and I was like, there's no good shot. Like, there's no good shot to do this with. So I came across this one with him and Jack Black on the billboard, and he's using his mind. The story is about Giovanni Ribisi can control electricity, and he can manipulate electronics and stuff like that, and he's on a billboard right now, and he's stopping traffic lights or switching them so that trying to cause an accident, and, I love this episode. It's my favorite episode. I've watched it dozens of times, and it's not what introduced me to Jack Black, because everybody who's my age had the wheelie cart of the VHS wheelie cart come in, and it was what's the name? Like, the Airborne. It was called Airborne from 1993. It was this really, it was this fucking rollerblading video movie. No, it wasn't a video. It wasn't like a home movie of tricks and stuff. It was like a really, California Saved by the Bell colors. Everybody's wearing that kind of shit. But God, that's an awful buzz. I'm gonna rip everything apart when I finish this. No, I'm not. I'm gonna move on to the next video. That's what I've been doing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I've been working on this for 2 weeks, and I don't mean like, the old style of like, yeah, I play video games and, I do other things and I go, I didn't have time to draw today. No, I've been drawing every single day except for one day. One day, I lost track of time, and it was after midnight, and I flaked out on myself, and I said, nah, I'm not going to do it. But I should have. I actually regret it. Not like, seppuku style where I'm going to fucking, shove a dagger in my stomach about it. I'm not that shamed about it. But I could have easily done like 45 minutes, something. And that's what I've been doing, is mostly average 2 hours every day. That's not the goal, though. It's how much I can do. If I do 2 hours and I'm like, okay, you did time. You did the work for the day. Because, I have a straight job. I don't have this isn't what I do for a living yet. Okay, so anyway, so I do what I can. And after the new year, I hate New Year's resolutions. I think they're weak. I think that you should be able to just do what you want any time of year. And that's, you should have that, that discipline to do anything any time of year. Anyway, I got distracted. Like I always do. But I've been, look at this sloth shit that I'm doing on the screen right now. I did so much tinkering with these two. Because here's the thing. It wasn't such a good idea to do something that was from a, standard definition television show from the 1990s with when the head takes up like 1/20th of the screen, there's not a lot of detail in it to ensure that I can nail it. You know what I mean? So Giovanni Ribisi especially, that picture is so blurry. I can't get on myself if it's not like dead nuts perfect, because I'm lucky that it even resembles him at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to do crazy surgery. I had to do crazy whittling. These are terms that I came up with that I realize that I use a lot to describe how I work. Like, you could see kind of like a shifting of everything. I call it whittling. Like I just picture an old guy who's just chopping away at, he's just whittling, trying to get the shape right. And that's what I do with things like jaw lines and, you know, all this stuff. And I've stared at these two, or at least the pictures of my, the pictures that I drew. I stared at it so long that I hate it. So I'm not really enjoying it. But anyway, I'm over 30 hours in, and I need to finish this. So the last couple minutes may be either me going into overtime and I just stretch the last video to fit that, or maybe I'll just have nothing to say and I'll come back. I don't know. The fun fact is that this is not the first time that I've drawn Jack Black. I have a piece, or I have a thing in a sketchbook from when I was a teenager that I drew in 1999 when off of a recorded VHS version of Tenacious D, the television show on HBO, and I would pause it, and I would draw, and then 10 minutes into a pause on a VHS, it would and it would stop. You'd have to turn it back on, rewind it blindly, just and then watch it, and then pause it right at the perfect second. I think actually the VHS by then had the thing where you could just like track forward a frame, but it's still, I think I'm gonna upload that to as like a little Patreon exclusive. Not that that's a huge draw, but that's a great, like old thing, because it's good. It's totally recognizable. It's not like a shitty, Jack Black. I was good when I was a teenager too. But so it's I'm gonna put that up on my Patreon as an exclusive thing. It's not, like I said, it's not the biggest incentive, but I want to do more shit like that. You can go to patreon.com/ScottU if you want to do like sort of like blind donation type thing. And it doesn't matter. Like, I've realized it doesn't matter how low it is, because I'm just starting out on all this stuff. Like, I have no following. It helps. I needed RAM a couple of it takes, obviously it was after an accumulative amount of time or whatever, but I needed RAM. My RAM took a shit a couple months ago, and I was like, I have enough to like justify getting RAM, because obviously I need my computer to work and not fucking blue screen on me. That was happening a couple months ago. That sucked. But anyway, yeah, little exclusives and shit like that wouldn't be bad. As long as they're, worth a shit, like that's an actually good shareable photo. But yeah, so this is the second time I've ever drawn Jack Black. What else? But anyway, yeah, I love this episode. It was 95. I was a young person, and like, you go back now and you look and you see all the flaws and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun. Giovanni Ribisi, I love that guy. He's got to be one of my all-time favorite actors, because I always enjoy him. There's always a point in everything that I've seen him in where he snaps, where he loses his shit and he goes into like a rage. Even, well, not necessarily a rage, but he loses control of his emotions. Even in Boiler Room, where he was just like total low-key guy or whatever, there was a scene where he's freaking out. He's losing his shit with his father. I'm a judge, for Christ's sakes. And then he's like, because he runs an illegal casino out of his house. He's like, it's good. I'm good at what I do. There was that movie, The Gift. It was directed by Sam Raimi. I have no idea when it came out, like 99 or something. And he plays this guy. I want to say Keanu Reeves was in it. I want to say his character's name was Donnie Barksdale, if I remember that right off the top of my head. So Donnie Barksdale is like the neighborhood, like it was like down deep south, like kind of, bayou shit. And he was like, Keanu Reeves was in a truck, and he's like the neighborhood bully kind of guy. He's the badass or whatever. Giovanni Ribisi is like the weirdo, and but he's like kind of dark, you know what I mean? And he gets to this point where there's this one part of the movie where I don't remember the context at all, but Keanu Reeves hangs out of the side of a truck with a revolver, and he's like, "Hey!" Because Giovanni Ribisi takes a fucking crowbar, and he walks up to the truck, and he's just like, bang, 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 smashing the hood, smashing the windshield, or smashing the windshield, headlights, everything, and he pulls out a revolver. He's like, "Hey!" And then Giovanni Ribisi, this has to be the best moment in cinema, to my, in my own opinion. He drops the crowbar, no hesitation, walks up to the gun, pushes his forehead into it, and he goes, "Do it!" Like, he just starts yelling out, "Shoot me! Shoot me!" And then he goes, "Brrr!" And he drives off because, he's too crazy and he spooks them or whatever. Anyway, in this, so he plays this he plays this kid who can manipulate lightning. He works as an auto, mechanic guy, an underling or whatever. He's the guy under the truck and stuff. And his boss is like this, handsome guy. He's got it going on. He's got his own shop and all this stuff. And and his wife is Giovanni Ribisi's English teacher for like when he was in school, and he was kind of like in remedial classes or some shit. And so she's freaked out by him, and and he's in love with this woman, and what do you call her? Her name is Mrs. Kavit. And so this is one of those things where I've watched this so many times that I quote shit, but it's by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I quote shit alone. It's not like something I can, elbow somebody else and be like, right? Isn't that funny? Remember, this or whatever? So I'll sit there and, quote this shit, but like while I'm washing dishes by myself and shit. But at the end of it, he kind of like kidnaps her or some shit. He wants to take her away because they're going to go away somewhere. And she's like, he's trying to like boost a car or whatever with his mind, and he's like asking her what kind she wants, and he loses track of her for a second, and he turns his back on her, and she turns around and books it, and then he turns around and he's like, "She's gone." He's like, no, wait, you see her running away, and he's like, "No." He goes, "Mr. Kavit, come back here." And he starts like, I love this shit. He's like, what do you call it? He goes, he's looking for her, okay, at this point. He's walking around this parking lot at night, and he's like, oh, how does the fucking lines go? He's like, of course, I've been doing this. I've been, like, I was even doing it as I was drawing. I would say this, but I lose it sometimes. What does he go? He goes, Mrs. Kavit, where are you? And he goes, and then he kind of, like, this is where he starts to break, and he's just like, oh, come on now, Mrs. Kavit. What did he say? He's like, oh, come on now, Mr. Kavit. I said I'd take care of you. What else did you want? I didn't give you anything. Anything you wanted, Mrs. Kavit. And then the sheriff guy shows up. What the fuck am I doing? Is this commentary? Anyway, so the sheriff guy shows up, and he's like, all right, son, I don't know what you're doing out here, but, causing trouble, blah, 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 or whatever. And he goes, I want some answers. And he goes, no, I want some answers. And he's like, the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, obviously. He's like, tell me where she is. And he's like, yeah, hold on now, Bob. And he's like, tell me where she is. Fucking lightning and shit hits trees, and the guy gets fried. The sheriff guy or whatever. Anyway, so that's I would almost be embarrassed about being so giddy going over this, but somebody else wrote this. You get what I'm saying? Like, back in the 90s, like, somebody was sitting there writing, going like, and then no, tell me where she is. Like, he's like, this is fucking prime time. Prime time Fox, I don't know what time, 9 o'clock or whatever back in the day. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're coming to the end of this, and the only reason I know why is because I'm coming to the end of what I have right now. Everything else is going to be overtime. What else? Oh, up here on this thing. So Jack Black shows up on this billboard. Giovanni Ribisi is already up here, and he's like, he's already up there, and he's like, what's going on? What's happening? He's like, I don't know. Nothing. And he sits down. He's like, he's drinking a beer or whatever. He brings up a 6-pack, and he's like, I've been thinking, we need to get out of this town. We need to go somewhere like Vegas. You could do some serious damage in a place like that. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere without Mrs. Kavit. He's like, what are you? I don't remember what he says after that. He's like, He's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know. Tell her I care about her. What the fuck? He's becoming. My impression of him is becoming like, how. How. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up over here. Anyway, so I don't know, nothing. And he goes, fuck, what was it? He's like, how you gonna do that? He's like, tell her that I love her. You tell her that I only think about her or whatever. She's the only thing I can think about. And he goes, how you gonna do that? She failed you, okay? She thinks you're a retard. That's pretty funny that they used to say retard and shit on TV and they can't do that anymore. He's like, she failed you, okay? She thinks you're a retard. I mean, you can't compete with Frank. Frank, you know, he's got his own shop. He's good looking, you know? And a woman like that wants someone special. And he goes, I'm special. And he goes, I'm special. He's like, right. And he goes, I'm going to show her just how special I am. And the other scene is in the beginning. This fucking episode had it all. So the other scene at the beginning is an arcade. It had Virtual Fighter 2 in it. Oh my god, this fucking episode had it all. So at the beginning, there's a pizza guy who stops off at a video arcade, and he's playing, and there's nobody else in there. And Giovanni Ribisi, this is where he's introduced at the very beginning. He comes walking up, and he's just kind of like, there's someone at my machine. I like this guy. I'm not making fun of him, I swear. I love Giovanni Ribisi. But he's like, he goes, hey, I was playing that. And then the guy just kind of like, whatever, brushes him off, and he goes, yeah, I just went to take a whiz, and now I'm back. And he does that, like, sniff thing, like, you know. And then he goes, and then what was it? He goes, the guy loses. And he goes, damn! He goes, walks up to him, and he goes, you got a problem? He goes, it was my game. I was playing. He goes, were you Pinhead? Now you're not. And then he turns around, and he goes back to it, and he goes, no. Mrs. Great! He goes, no. I don't think you understand. It was my game. I was playing. And he goes, then Jack Black walks up behind him, sees what's going on, because Jack Black works at the video arcade. And he goes, man, I'd step aside, okay? It's his game, all right? I'd step aside if I were you. And he goes, okay, you guys want to play a game? We'll play a game. And he grabs him by the shirt. If there were, like, lapels, he'd grab him by the front of the shirt, pulls him up to him, and he goes, I go first. I go first. And then he throws him into the arcade machine. All the lights go out. Because you don't know what, is going on yet. It's the beginning of the thing. And then Jack Black goes, oh, man, you shouldn't have done that. He goes, the guy's like, why? What's he going to do? And then, fucking Whirlitizer jukebox starts playing on its own, and he gets up, and Giovanni Ribisi gets up, and he straightens up his hat, and he goes, is it my turn now? And the guy goes, I'm wasting my time. And he walks out of the place, and then he fries him in his car. So we've gone way into overtime. I'm going to actually have to take whatever remainder I have left over of what I'm doing and stretch it out to however many minutes I've gone over. Hold on. Yeah, it's like 3 minutes. It's not going to mess the time lapse up too much, but I had to do this because I'm like, I don't know, like I want to actually be able to just upload this when I'm done with it and move on to the next one because that's my goal. So yeah, so everything you're seeing right here on the screen is how you can follow me. Check up on me on Instagram. That's where you can see the finished, things without having to pause on the screen and all that good stuff. Let's see, subscribe here. If you want to hire me to do something, a full piece, bonobojuice.com/hire for all the details. If you're interested in buying any type of prints or something, if you look on my Instagram, you say I'd like a physical copy of one of those posters. Okay, poster size prints are available if you email me at scott@bonobojuice.com. Thanks for watching.